Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is You Are God, or Are You? I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I am using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these articles a while back. Yeah, this one's from February of 2009, and the world has completely transformed since then. So if, as I'm reading, I catch anything that feels outdated or I've had greater experience in my own expansion since then, I will interrupt myself and give you the most updated information. And also at the end, if need be, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Plus, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. You are God, are you? This is a big topic, as big as God, which can be approached from many angles. I'm just going to dive in and see what emerges. I'm going to start biblically. If you look at the Old and New Testament versions of God, you can see a clue as to the evolution of mankind, or the embodiment of consciousness and form. The Old Testament God is vengeful, jealous, but basically one that is very far away and removed from the people that he's pelting with frogs or locusts. It's a God that feels distant, yet also imbued with human characteristics. It's as if the little ant-like people are projecting their negative emotions onto God. Oh, and they have God be both nameless and formless, but also be a him, and be very mysterious and hard to understand. The perfect dysfunctional authority figure. The New Testament God, as introduced by Jesus, is a closer relationship, a father figure that you can talk to, one who loves you and cares for you, yet lets you die on the cross because he loves you, and still is pretty persnickety when it comes to sin. Oh wait, some of that is leftover distortion from the Old Testament, and some of that is continued distortion from centuries of mistranslation. So a side note, sin in Aramaic, which is the dialect that Jesus spoke, actually is an archery term that means missing the mark. So think about how the tenor of the teachings change when you de-energize sin into a simple oops. If you look at both from the perspective of consciousness evolution, you see that consciousness created these forms, which have personality, with the intention of manifesting in and through them. In the Old Testament, these forms were still new, but not experimental like the dinosaurs were, or Neanderthals, which got scrapped like early versions of the automobile. Vibrationally dense, consciousness wasn't fully embodied into them, hence the interpretation of God, consciousness being far away. In the New Testament, there was a mass consciousness shift where most of the energy could come through. A closer relationship was considered a parental one, an identification. We were made in God's own form, but God was still outside. My mystery school training, which was based in first century Christianity, said that only about 20% of spirit could manifest into form. And even that is a distortion because it emphasizes the dichotomy between spiritual energy and body energy. I've been away from that training for 15 years now. Actually 30 years now, and I'm still letting go of some key elements of it. What I see with the present consciousness shift is that humanity is bringing the awareness within, to know the God within, the God self, and inner identification with God. We weren't made in God's form. God doesn't have arms or legs or genitals. We are God's essence manifesting form. So many changes are coming about because of this new awareness. For example, traditional therapy, where the professional has more information than you, diagnoses you with what's wrong with you, and can provide you with the answers or solution, is now transitioning to life coaching. Life coaches hold you as the expert in your life and are trained to ask empowering questions that draw your own inner wisdom out. I've had my own adjustments with this shift. I wasn't comfortable with the concept of God within because I had a fear of the ego. Having a long-term relationship with a cocaine addict, an up-close experience of the addict's ego personality, I didn't think it was safe to give that idea any power. Of course, as our collective vibration raises, the denser aspect of ourselves fall away, including this distortion called ego. Another way of looking at it is as our collective vibration gets lighter, it brings to the surface the dark stuff that needs to be clear. Doesn't that explain the last 8+ years? However, even as I write this, I'm aware of yet another step those of us on the leading edge are sliding into, that we don't have a God within, but that we are God. My experience is that we are consciousness, creating this physical reality down to the smallest detail. Consciousness, singular, creating each physical form to manifest through. I am consciousness, and you are consciousness. The forms look different, and that's what's so fun about this place. And my most recent experience revelation is that nothing is linear, nothing is dense to diffuse, dark to light, self to other. I am consciousness, instantaneously creating this awareness more effortlessly than a programmer creating an internet game or Disney creating a theme park. As I allow this awareness and identification to become clear, things pop into and out of my hologram without logic or reason. Although I could create a story to try to make sense of things, they don't. There isn't a leading edge here either, because that's a linear concept. If there's a lead, there's stuff lagging behind. It's uncomfortable and exhilarating at the same time, because I'm very attached to my core beliefs of the things that make sense, that there is gravity and a center of the earth and life having a purpose. It's exhilarating because our core limitations no longer have to exist. Karma, sin, working through lessons, being stuck, mistakes, all evaporate when viewed as source. Source doesn't need to learn anything. It invented the game and this vehicle. Source is just riding this particular ride, the way Jay Leno decides on which car he's going to take for a spin. Consciousness is perfection. So what's fun is experiencing imperfection. So I'm still reclaiming power from the old beliefs that others are separate and that density is real, along with gravity. But as I do, my heart expands, which is an illusion also, but the heart feeling is real. As I identify myself as source, as consciousness, I feel the expansiveness of it all. It's love beyond love and joy beyond joy. Since you're reading this, you must have wanted to receive this information. I invite you to take this in baby steps, to let these ideas germinate into your heart and soul. Notice where you are in your awareness. Watch how your consciousness is shifting. If you need any more information, turn within and connect to consciousness. I like the idea of having an internal modem, and we're online to the cosmic internet 24/7, except with my new awareness, I am the internet, and see what blossoms as a result. So how I would sort of summarize this and update this is that I'm really uncomfortable with the word God. It is so limiting and it is also gendered, but I am very comfortable with the word consciousness, and that we're all expanding as consciousness. So when you start to operate as consciousness and navigate your life as consciousness, this is where all these amazing things happen. So if you've been having these experiences with your own consciousness shift, please leave a note in the comments below. I love reading your comments. Also, if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, you can click on the link below for the skybox technique. That'll give you an expanded experience of your own life and be able to see the amazing things that are happening as you create as consciousness. Also, I have a self-study course called Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's a great foundational course that gives you some basics for shifting and changing your life. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-duckham.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today. I can answer any questions you have, and the sessions recorded for you. And if you want to learn more how to do this for yourself, I have a coaching special where you can work one-on-one with me, and I give you consciousness techniques designed especially for you to transform your life. So go to my website, joan-duckham.com, and I'll see you tomorrow with another Morning Musings.